My name is Adam, and this is the story of the woman I thought had stopped loving me. For 10 years. I believed she had broken my heart. Then one unexpected meeting changed everything. People say that if someone truly loves you, they'll never leave. Life taught me that sometimes people leave because they believe it's the only way to protect the person they love. 10 years ago, I was a university student with very little money but very big dreams. That's where I met Grace. She studied literature. I studied engineering. She loved poetry. I loved numbers. We were completely different. Yet somehow, we became inseparable. We spent hours studying together, walking through the city after classes, sharing cheap coffee because neither of us could afford to. One evening, sitting under an old oak tree on campus, I looked at her and said, "One day, when I have a good job, I'm going to marry you." She smiled with tears in her eyes. "I'll wait." After graduation, I moved to another city for work. The distance was difficult, but we promised to make it work. Every night we spoke for hours. Every month we visited each other. Then one day, everything changed. Her replies became shorter. Her calls became less frequent. Whenever I asked if something was wrong, she simply replied, "I'm just busy." One evening she called me. Her voice sounded different. "I'm getting married next month." My world stopped. I thought I had heard her wrong. What? My parents introduced me to someone. I said yes. I couldn't believe it. "What about us?" There was a long silence. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry." The call ended. She blocked my number, blocked my emails, disappeared from my life. 4 years. I hated her. I buried myself in work, built my career, started my own company. Everyone thought I had moved on. But the truth was, part of me never did. 10 years later, I returned to my hometown for a business conference. While walking through a quiet park, I saw her. She was sitting alone on a bench. She looked older, thinner, tired. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she smiled sadly. "You've done well." I nodded. "So have you." She looked away. "No, I haven't." I finally asked the question that had haunted me for a decade. Why? Why did you leave without giving us a chance? Tears filled her eyes. She reached into her handbag and handed me a faded hospital file. I opened it. The date was 10 years old. Diagnosis: leukemia. My hands started shaking. "I found out a month before our wedding," she whispered. "The doctors weren't sure I would survive. I couldn't ask you to spend your life watching me suffer. So I lied. I wanted you to hate me. It seemed easier than making you watch me die." I couldn't speak. She continued, "The man I married wasn't my husband." I looked at her in confusion. He was my cousin. We pretended to be married so people would stop asking questions. I spent the next 3 years in treatment. I survived. But by the time I recovered, you had already built a new life. Tears rolled down my face. For 10 years, I had blamed the wrong person. She hadn't stopped loving me. She had been trying to protect me. We sat together until sunset, talking about everything we had lost, everything we had misunderstood. Before leaving, she smiled. "I always kept my promise." "What promise?" She looked at me. "I never stopped loving you." Today, Grace and I are married, not because life gave us a second chance, but because we finally found the truth that had been hidden behind one heartbreaking lie. Sometimes, love isn't destroyed by distance. It's destroyed by silence. Because sometimes, the truth arrives years late, but it still has the power to heal a broken heart.